What's going on, guys? I'm Bill and welcome to Bill's How-To. Today I'm going to show you guys how to replace a sliding cavity door, also known as a pocket door. Now the reason why we're replacing this one here today is it's having a tough time getting in and out of the cavity. The reason for that, if we have a look down the bottom of the door, you can see that it's having a pretty difficult time getting in and out. The reason for that is because it's swollen down the bottom. We've got some water damage. It's swollen, flaking, peeling, and as a result, it's having a tough time getting in through that cavity. So today I'm going to show you guys how to remove the old door and how to reinstall your new one. Let's do this. So the first thing we need to do is remove the filler piece, which is a little panel of timber that sits above the door. It might not necessarily be this wide as my one is. This one here is a pretty old one, and it's also missing a screw on one side. So if we have a look down the bottom here, you'll notice there's a little screw. This one here requires a flathead screwdriver. So we'll just undo this one here. So now we've got access to the wheels. This is where you'd usually make any kind of adjustment to the door. So if you needed to adjust your door up or down on either side, you could do that using these little adjustments right here. But in this case, what we're going to do is we're going to take off these nuts on either side using an adjustable wrench, and that's going to allow us to actually remove the door. So we'll take off one side at a time. That one there's on fairly loose. You might find that you need to take a little bit of the weight off the door. So if you want to just lift up a little bit, and that'll make it a little bit easier for you. Take that off. You can also remove the plate, put them on the side. Same thing on the other side. Remove that, remove the plate once again. And now we should be able to push those wheels straight through the back like that. Once the wheels are out, this one here looks like it needs to be replaced anyway. You can see it's got a split in there, so we'll replace that wheel later on. So now to remove this door completely out of the cavity, what you want to do is get the door as much as you can in the closed position. Get your hand squashed up against the side like that, and we're going to just tilt that in towards yourself. So we can see there we've got it out a little bit. What we're going to do now is just crab walk the door back and forward until it slides out. So you can see there we've now completely removed that door and we're ready to get our new door sorted. So we'll transfer all our measurements now for the wheels and also the lock down the bottom, and we'll transfer that over to the new door. So now we've got the old door on top of the new door. We're going to transfer the measurements over. We'll line up the bottom plate with the door, get it in line with our markings. Make sure it's all nice and flush. If not, you can adjust it. Same thing on the other side. We'll remove the lock. And then once again we move the door back, mark up our section so we can cut out our notch. Once again. And using a multi-tool, I'll just cut this section here out. So before we install the door, we're going to reinstall our lock first, and the reason for that is simply because I want to make sure that I've got an easy way to line this door back up 100% level with the existing lock or the latch. So I'll get this top screw here in first, put it on finger tight so that I can line everything up. Now your lock might be a little bit different depending on what style you have, but generally they're all pretty easy to install. They're going to be roughly around the same process. So you can see there we've got a bit of play with the door lock. What we want to do is line everything up 100% level first before we mark up our screw location. So I'm happy with that right there. Mark it up with the screw, and the reason why I'm marking it up with the screw is simply because these screws here that used to be on the lock are not magnetized, so I don't want to lose my positioning. Line it all up, get it 100% straight. Tighten up this side here now. Now this side here is ready to go. We'll go back on the other side and do the same thing. Test our lock, make sure everything's working. And now we can install the door. So now to reinstall the door, we simply do everything back in reverse. Bring it in as close as you can to the door frame. Slide the back side in first. Push in the front so it's nice and flush. Push that up against the actual track itself. So before we install anything, we're just going to give it a quick spray with some lubricant. Make sure everything's going to be running nice and smooth. Also spray the wheels. Then we can reinstall this one here. Push the threads through the little slot. Do the same thing on the other side. So now we're going to put on our adjustment plate and also the nut. At the moment we're just going to put it on hand tight. Same thing on the other side. So now everything's on hand tight, it's nice and loose. We can make our adjustments now. As you can see, the door is sitting flush, hard up against the ground. We still need to make our adjustments and also make sure the side is level. So we're going to start off with the left side first. Tap it over. As I tap this over to the left, you can see the door slowly climbs up. We need to make sure that it's off the ground, which it is in this case here. So we'll tighten this one here up a little bit. And then we'll move over to the right side. Once again, adjust it. Keep the door in the closed position as much as possible, and we're going to try and level out this door. So we'll tighten this one here up. And then we'll drop this side here in order to close this gap. A little bit more. I think one more and that should do it. Tighten this one here up. And once that's done, then we'll test out our door. Make sure everything's nice and smooth. We've got a nice consistent gap down the side. Make sure our door locks. Perfect. So now we're going to reinstall our filler panel. We've got some new screws ready to go and also some screw caps. Line up my old markings. Put in our second screw. So now we can take our screw caps, pop them over the top, click them in place, and now we can conceal our screws. So there you have it, guys. That's how to replace your sliding cavity door. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed the video. As always, like, comment and subscribe. Until next time, I'm Bill. Thanks for watching Billshowto.